This is Away's newest overnight bag called the Featherlight Overnight Bag. On the website, this sells for $128. This is the Away Overnight Bag. It sells for $228. There's a $100 price difference between the two. But does that mean the more expensive one is better? In this video, I'll show you how these two bags are similar and how they're different, and we'll pack each one with the same number of items. And then I'll take the newest overnight bag for a spin on 2 flights to see how it works at the airport, on the plane, under the seat, all of that. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stay with me. Let's start by looking at the outside of both of these bags. The Featherlight has several pockets. So you have pockets on the side. There's a trolley sleeve, another side pocket, the front pocket that runs the width of the bag with 2 slip pockets, one that could be designed for a passport or a phone, but lots of space here, and then a bottom zippered compartment. The straps are flexible, and the shoulder drop, it is at 11 inches. The Away Overnight Bag has 1 front pocket, a key leash, and this front pocket isn't very big. It runs just about until the straps here, and as deep as the bag goes. And that has a zipper. You see leather straps. We have rings for the shoulder strap, which I missed on the other one, but the Featherlight also has a shoulder strap. And then we have 1 front opening zipper, and we have a back opening zipper, and that is a separate laptop compartment. The only thing here on the back is a trolley sleeve, but no pockets except for that front pocket on the bag. Shoulder drop on this one is about 8 inches, so about 3 inches less than the Featherlight. Let's pack this for an overnight trip. I will confess that the first time I packed this, I've never had a bag like this with a zippered bottom compartment, and I put shoes in it like I see on social media. I just needed 1 pair of shoes, and I think I put something else small in here. I didn't have this fully packed, and then I packed the top, which was much heavier with my computer, and it all started to tip and sink into this zippered area. Even though it was zippered, it still kind of sunk down, and it's kind of like a foundation that's not sturdy on a house. So once I thought, you know, can I do something else? Can I pack this a different way that will make it more sturdy? Then it changed my whole opinion of the bag. If you have packing cubes that are a size like this is a medium from a set by Quince, which I love. But if not, it's okay. You just will fold your clothes to completely fill in this bottom space. So we want to make a nice even layer, a foundation for our house. So once I have those 2 in, pack those first. Now we're left with this nice open space. I have a shoe pouch with 1 pair of shoes. I will also put in my all-in-one dual voltage hair styling tool. It's nice and small, much smaller than my full-size one. This is my toiletry bag. My Kindle with a stand that I use for my Kindle and my phone when I'm on the plane, if I want to watch something, and my page turner for my Kindle and remote. I know, I thought it was a wild idea before I tried it, and I do love it. And then the last bag is what I call my in-flight bag. And this can be any pouch, but I just use one and I keep anything I might need in flight. So in here I have wet wipes to clean the tray table, Kleenex, my AirPods, my charger, a brush, lip balm, and then I have just a silicone pouch. This is by Stasher and it's washable. But I use this for, I call it my cleanup pouch. I use this if I need to wipe the tray table, or sometimes I need to clean my glasses, so I'll have something wet, and I definitely don't want to stick it in the back of the seat pocket on the plane. So I just put it in the cleanup pouch and then dump it when I get to my destination or when I get off the plane. And then I can wash the pouch when I get back home. And then what I have left is my 13-inch MacBook Air. So I waited to pack this until the end. You wouldn't have to wait till everything is packed, but it does start to tip forward since this isn't a separate zippered compartment. So you might want to wait until you have at least something packed in the duffel. You definitely want to wait until you have the bottom packed to give it some structure. So that looks great in there. Now you can see there is still room here, but I just don't want to overpack it because that just adds weight, and I definitely prefer carrying this on my shoulder versus using the shoulder strap. So, okay. And now I'm left with a separate, my front compartment. Now I actually travel with 2 phones because I also film trip reports, so I often need 2 phones. So this is my spare phone, and so I can put that right there. My other phone I'm using right now to film with, that phone will go in front here. That way when I'm carrying this on my right shoulder, this is right in front of me. And I'm going to put my wallet up here at front. If I wasn't putting my second phone or water bottle in, one of these side pockets would be great too for a smaller wallet. Okay, and then the last thing is my water bottle. And this would be to the back of me as I'm carrying the bag. This is a 12-ounce stainless steel water bottle from Amazon that I just got recently because of the bag, but I love it because it has a nice open cap and it's easy to clean, and then you can screw this nice and tight. And I'm using this little handle to give it a little bit more security, but I think it will stay there just fine. So that is the Away Featherlight bag. This weighs in at about 11 pounds full. Here are just a few quick clips showing you what it looks like on my Quinn's carry-on and using the shoulder strap and having it over the shoulder. And now let's head to the airport to test this out on 2 flights. I'm at the Austin airport waiting for my flight, and I just thought I'd give a really quick thing about tell you how my first flight went. I loved using this bag. I'm surprised because I really wasn't sure about it, but everything was really easy to access. I kept my phone in this side, so I'm carrying it with my right arm. My phone was really easy to get to. My water bottle was at the back, and then I could get to anything in here. So I thought it went great. It gets a little heavy carrying it on your shoulder, but I have enjoyed it so far, and it fit under the seat perfectly. Now for comparison, let's pack the original overnight bag. Almost everything is going to go in this clamshell, and we'll talk a little bit about why that makes it a bit more challenging when you need to access things during the flight. While I'm putting these in, I'll go ahead and tell you just a little bit more about this bag. This bag is not listed as a personal item size. The new Featherlight is listed as personal item size. However, I have used this as a personal item. It is only 1 inch wider than the dimensions for American Airlines. So I think that's probably the same for all US domestic flights. But I did try it. I took it on a flight to see family, and it was okay. I'll explain more about why it may not be the best choice for me in this situation. Okay, so I've got my hair thing, and so what I have left now is my in-flight bag, my Kindle, my MacBook, and my wallet and phone. I want to have my Kindle and my in-flight bag and everything out with me, but in this case, it doesn't work as well, but I'll show you a quick solution. Let's go ahead, and I'm trying to make this as full as I can so it doesn't sag. So let's do the shoes right here. Okay, that looks better. Okay, now I'll close this up. You can put things in here, quite a few things, socks, I mean anything else like that. There is quite a bit of space. I don't know if you can tell how much this kind of bows out, which means when this closes, you could have other pouches or things just sitting here that you could access easily. Like this is my in-flight bag, so I could just lay this right here. I could also lay my Kindle here. And if I needed to, I could pull out my bag, unzip this part and grab it without having to unzip the clamshell. All right, we have a great laptop sleeve. Nice and padded. It does not have a false bottom, but it does have some pretty good padding underneath, but just be careful. Or this is plenty of space. If you have a 13-inch laptop, you could definitely use it inside another case too. So this bag looks great now. It's almost fully packed, but you can still tell there's a lot of extra room here, which means that that room isn't really available to you up front. It's more available inside this. You can peek inside and see that our pouches, my Kindle and my in-flight pouch is pretty accessible to me without opening the clamshell. Here's one thing I think I would leave out if I were using this bag only is the water bottle. It could work in here if you want to grab it out right afterwards, but I can't fit my wallet and my phone, and I don't always travel with a water bottle. So in this case, I think I would choose to put my phone and my wallet in the front here and zip it up and have a nice clean look, then mess with the water bottle. Let's do a final wrap up with these bags now, looking at both of them. Just as a reminder, this is the Away Overnight bag that's $228, and this is the new Featherlight Overnight, which is $128. My first impressions for this bag was that I wouldn't like it, and that was because I was packing it in a way that made the bottom part sink in. But after using both of them, this one several months ago for a trip, and this one just a week ago, I can honestly say that if I had to choose one, I would choose the least expensive bag, the Featherlight, just because it's more practical for how I travel. I like being able to have easy access to the pockets. I can have a water bottle. I really loved having my phone in this front pocket. And really, I liked having my clothes packed below. They were really out of sight, out of mind. I didn't really even think about them during the trip that they were under there. I just thought, well, this is my bag, and then this is a little extra part. So probably one of the biggest reasons too, besides all the pockets and the usability, are the shoulder straps. Because my choice is to carry it over my shoulder, and for this one, I'm actually able, because the straps are so long, to kind of swing it to the back when I'm walking down the aisle, in the plane, or it's just a very comfortable carry. And that makes all the difference for a personal item bag to me. If it's uncomfortable or it feels like it's too short, the straps, then it's gonna be hard to carry. And my preference is just not to carry something with a shoulder strap, which is what this, I think, requires. So I did pay about the same for both of these bags. I purchased this bag pre-loved on Poshmark. So if this is a bag you really love, this style, look around on eBay and Poshmark, because if you can purchase it pre-loved and it's in great condition for a discount, then I think it's worth it. I hope this review helped you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I did include some links in the description if you want to take a look further at the bags or some of the other items I mentioned as I was packing. Thank you so much for watching.